Welcome to the Raging Takes podcast with your host, Brian Dixon, Kai Zabo, and Dylan Peters.
What's up, you turkeys? Welcome to episode 93 of the Raging Takes podcast. Today is Saturday, July 20th, 2024. I'm your host, Brian Dixon, joined as always by my co-hosts, Kai the Commissioner Zabo and Dylan Peters. Good morning.
Salutations.
Good morrow.
Is that a word? Salutations?
I don't know.
Which one?
Who, me?
Yeah, who, you?
Thing, dude. Potato.
What an odd start. We got just like a little news and updated rankings episode for you. We're gonna go over some guys that we've moved up or down our list. However many spots that we feel is worthy enough to mention on the pod. I feel like I'm sure you guys feel the same way. I've changed my opinions over the last couple of weeks on a handful of players, and I think it would be healthy to talk about it. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and we're gonna get some NFL news going. So first up, Brandon Aiyuk, the big news story of the week, which has kind of been already a story all offseason. He's officially requested a trade from the 49ers. Did he not do this before? When this happened, I was like, wait, I thought he already did, but I guess it was just like speculation and just like rumors. I don't know, but it's officially happened. He's requested a trade from the 49ers. Teams who have reached out and spoken to San Francisco have been told that the Niners have no intention of trading Aiyuk. Training camp opens this upcoming week for the 49ers. Do you expect to get this done? If the Niners don't want to trade him, I don't know. This might be a little bit of a stalemate going on here. I kind of expect him to play for the Niners, but what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think the more realistic scenario here is that he's going to play the whole year. He's going to be in San Fran for the rest of this season, and then they're going to cut ties with him at the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they wanted to trade Aiyuk earlier, they would have gotten some kind of draft compensation for him. That kind of showed me they had no intention of trading him if they didn't do it by the draft, because you're going to have to basically trade him and not get any, you can't get anything for it now, is what I'm saying. Like, how else can they improve other than trading for another receiver? Like, do they need a defensive player? But they'll probably have to pay whoever, so he'll probably play this whole year.
I mean, the only way I could see him actually trading him is like if they're ultimately confident in Ricky Pearsall's development and training camp, or they are like losing record midway through this year. I could see him maybe trying then, but I still agree with you. I don't think they could really get much in return right now. Like you said, I mean, there's really nothing that helps them unless they get like a replacement for him, unless they're that confident in Ricky Pearsall.
I mean, they could get something for him. It would probably just be draft picks next year.
Yeah, but
he still has value. They could easily trade him right now for something that's fair. I don't think they want to, obviously, but if they want, they're a Super Bowl contender, so you kind of want Brandon Aiyuk on your team, right? Yeah. Make one more run, because if they win a Super Bowl this year, who cares? Like, it just whatever. It worked out. You do whatever with Aiyuk. But if this doesn't work out and he just walks away and you don't get anything for this really good young receiver, that's going to be kind of heartbreaking for the 49ers. So this is a tough situation here. I don't know what the right move is. There's several different paths they can go down.
I think they'd probably be more likely to see what they could get out of him this year.
You think so? You had this take before, right? They're 7-1. They'll trade him at the trade deadline.
And let's just say Ricky Pearsall does pop off as a rookie, and he's doing pretty good, and you could still get something for Aiyuk in the middle of the season. Maybe they do make that move just to shore up. Maybe they have injuries on defense. Someone's offering them like a good safety or a cornerback or something in their secondary. They can be like, that plus a pick, I'll take that. If you want Aiyuk now.
Makes sense.
So there has been history of the 49ers getting into this type of situation too in the recent years. In 2022, Debo requested a trade. Niners ended up hanging on to him. He signed a 3-year deal. Robbie Gould requested a trade in 2019. They held on to him. He signed a 4-year extension later in the offseason. So there is history of this where, somebody requests a trade and they get a deal done later on anyway. So like maybe, I don't know, maybe next year they re-sign him for free agency. I don't think that's going to happen in this case, but I don't know. This is going to be pretty unpredictable. So keep your eye on it. There's also been some drama too with Juwan Jennings. He seemed to call out Aiyuk on Instagram a little bit here. This is the Instagram post that he had. Okay, quote: "You got to be a different type of person to act like you're doing everything by yourself, knowing dang well you're not." I'm like, oh shit, that's pretty obvious that he was talking. It was the same exact day. It was like hours after he requested a trade. So pretty obvious that Juwan Jennings was calling him out. Do with that what you will. I could see his teammates being a little frustrated here because they want to win a Super Bowl too. They've been so close several years in a row here. I can see the frustration for sure.
Yeah, like see the frustration in him not just committing to winning a Super Bowl and then getting his money after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I kind of agree with that. Like, why not just be all in and then just play your contract out?
I mean, he should be treating it like it's a contract year. He should be treating it like it's an audition for what he's going to get next season with the new team.
If he has like a 90 catch, 1,500 yard season, which he's capable of, he showed it.
He'll get paid.
He's a chunk yardage guy with like 12 touchdowns. That dude could get paid top 5 receiver money by somebody. So maybe he should just get out there and play. But also, money's money, dude. I get that aspect of it too. Like he wants to go somewhere that can pay him right now, so he can feel safe. So
money, job security. Yeah, it's tough to judge football players because it could all be over like this. Any play could be their last. So it is tough. It's a tough situation. But yeah, I'm kind of with you guys too.
I mean, do you think there's a chance he holds out? Because we have seen guys do that before and then still get paid even after not playing that season.
It's possible.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's possible. Related news here. Ricky Pearsall placed on the active non-football injury list. The injury is not believed to be serious, though. Pearsall was participating in a no-contact jersey in the spring, so it came out the same exact day as Aiyuk demanding a trade, so it's just notable. I don't think it's going to be anything too crazy. If Aiyuk were to be traded, I would fully expect Ricky Pearsall to be the wide receiver 2 in San Francisco. I like Juwan Jennings, but I don't think he's that guy. I think he's perfect at the role he is right now, about like a 3-4. So I think if Aiyuk gets traded, Pearsall is going to get a big bump. So just keep an eye on Ricky.
Juwan Jennings too.
Yeah.
Like those two guys.
Don't forget about Kittle too. Kittle will get a little bit of a bump too, probably.
And McCaffrey.
And Debo.
And
next
everybody.
up. Troy Rank of the Denver Post reports that Javonte Williams and Samaje Perine appear to be in a battle for one roster spot in Denver. This came out this morning. The running back room is set up to be Audric Estime, Jaleel McLaughlin, and one of Javonte and Samaje. So what are we looking at here? What do you expect to happen? I've been honestly hearing whispers of Javonte Williams getting cut.
Yeah.
This is not the first time I've heard this.
I was going to say, you're hearing those whispers because there's a lot of praise. There's a lot of hype coming Jaleel McLaughlin's way. He's earned a bigger role in training camp. They say that he looks amazing. It's the type of running back that Sean Payton wants. I mean, there might be a chance that Jaleel McLaughlin is the starting running back coming out of camp week 1.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of the Darren Sproles idea behind Sean Payton's offense. Like he had a Darren Sproles there, and you saw what he did. He was very usable in fantasy, so that's a good thing. But also, there was a lot of other running backs that were good in Sean Payton's offense, and I think that this could be good news because you could see Javonte Williams getting a change of scenery. I don't. If we're talking about who's going to beat out who, dude, Samaje Perine is actually good.
Yeah.
He's a good NFL running back. So in real life, Samaje Perine will win that job. But in fantasy, he may not be the benefactor. But I think Javonte Williams being gone is a good thing for Denver. Because they were he was injured and then overused too. Like to where he wasn't that good. You know what I mean?
And he's not Sean Payton's guy anyways.
Yeah.
And he's never been like spectacular either.
Yeah.
Like he's been usable, but like his numbers don't pop off at you either. You know, like a career 4 yards per carry. So like that's solid, but it's also not gonna like move the needle at all either. Jaleel McLaughlin, like I remember him like really making a difference last year, which I mean, I think it's more of like an eye test thing for him. He really didn't get a lot of work overall.
Yeah.
But he made good with his limited opportunities. I mean, he averaged
He's a rookie, right?
Yeah, he averaged 5 yards
He
a
was a
carry
rookie.
on only
He
like
did.
under 100 carries, and I think he got like close to 500 yards. So I mean, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. Yeah, he did. And then he's also, you know, in the receiving game too. So I can see why they like Jaleel McLaughlin. I kind of like Audric Estime too. So like this isn't too much of a shocker that Javonte and Samaje are the two that they're deciding between. But
Yeah.
pretty interesting stuff though.
I mean,
were you gonna say something, Kai?
Yeah, when you watch McLaughlin, he's like one of those eye test guys. Like you watch him and you're like, okay, this guy's very talented. He just needs more work. And I kind of think this might be the year where he gets more, especially with this happening. So
yeah.
God, he's only 5'7", huh? 5'7", 187.
Yeah, he's a small guy. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So who do you guys think is gonna get cut?
Javonte. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm in that same boat too. Okay. Next up. Panthers placed Jonathan Brooks on active non-football injury list. That's the same one that Ricky Pearsall's on. Brooks is just recovering from a torn ACL he suffered last November. So I don't think this is anything to be worried about. Are you guys worried about this at all? Would this change you drafting him in fantasy drafts or anything?
No.
Are you even drafting him to begin with?
I mean, if you're drafting him, you're hoping that he ramps up midway through the season. It's going to be a slow ramp up to start the season with him anyways if you decide to want Jonathan Brooks, but potentially mid-season he could be a gem.
Yeah, it doesn't change my opinion on drafting him because I probably wasn't going to anyways.
Okay. Ravens sign Eddie Jackson to a 1-year deal. Your old pal Eddie Jackson, Dylan. I think this is a pretty good fit. I don't know. Has Eddie Jackson been good though the last couple of years? I guess you would know, right?
He's been like a serviceable starting safety, I'd say. Like he was good enough in our offense. Like obviously nothing really compares to his rookie season, which is kind of sad. But hey, I think like I told you earlier, man, he's good enough to be the worst player on a great defense. So that's good.
He did have 4 interceptions 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It just has been highly inconsistent. He became a better tackler over the last couple of years, is what I've noticed.
Yeah.
Last season,
go ahead.
Last season in 12 games, he had 37 tackles, 5 pass deflections, and 1 interception. So, go ahead, Kai.
No, I was gonna say I think it's a fine like veteran presence to have on that defense. A nice pairing with Kyle Hamilton too in the back end there.
Again, if he even starts.
I was gonna say, would he be a starter? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, well, what is their? Let me look at their depth chart.
Their depth chart.
How many players are depth?
Their safeties are Kyle Hamilton and Marcus Williams. So no, right? Definitely not.
Oh yeah, they have Eddie Jackson as a backup.
Yeah, because Marcus Williams is decent, right?
Eddie Jackson as a backup is nice.
Either way, though, I'm sure he'll come in on like rotation or
bigger, for sure. He'll get playing time
packages. So
yeah, he'll definitely get playing time.
He would be a good dime piece, dude.
I mean, he's a good locker room guy, right? I don't remember anything like saying that he's like a dickhead or anything, right?
He's always been very fun.
Yeah, so he'll be good for the locker room then.
Next up, Kenyon Drake retired.
Forgot about him.
Kenyon Drake retired. This is the big news this week. He was fine. He was a serviceable-ish running back for a while. I watched him get 4 touchdowns in a game in person one time.
Oh yeah,
one of the highlights of my NFL fandom.
He first got traded to the Cardinals. He was really good.
He was, yeah. That's when I saw him. Was when he was on the Cardinals. That was about it, though. He had a couple okay seasons in Miami.
Yeah.
Let me look up
Um,
his career stats here.
he was pretty good.
His career stats here.
He was pretty good.
Yeah, he showed flashes, but he never like really got to that level.
His best season was with the Cardinals in 2020, where he ran for 955 yards and 10 touchdowns. So solid.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy, but solid. So have a good retirement, Kenyon. Next up, Jordan Addison getting in trouble again. Arrested Friday near LAX on suspicion of DUI. A California highway patrolman found Addison's car blocking a lane of the 105 West. Addison was asleep behind the wheel, and this is obviously the second time that there's been a driving-related incident for Addison since he's become a professional football player. Because he was, what was it before? It was speeding, right?
Yes.
Didn't he have a speeding thing going on?
But he was sober for that.
Yeah. He was just going too fast. So, I mean, this isn't good.
No,
Falling
it's not.
asleep on a California highway. That's not good, dude.
I will tell you right now, he has dropped out of my top 40.
Whoa. Oh, shit. Okay.
I mean,
interesting.
Yeah, it's already,
I mean,
just the uncertainty.
Is he going to get suspended for this or anything?
I think so. Like, at least,
you think so? Okay.
Maybe a few games, you know. NFL needs to make an example of these kind of incidents anyways, you know. Like, this is happening way too often now.
Okay, so what do we do about Rashee Rice then? Fucking kill him? Kidding. It's falling asleep on a highway is different than maybe what Rashee Rice was doing on a crowded highway.
Still not good.
But this is a second incident, you know, so it's like
Rashee Rice, you know, they're both in the same boat. And I think that Rashee Rice gets a harsher suspension, and I think that Jordan Addison does not get suspended at all.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get suspended either, but I don't know. I didn't actually even think about it until Kai said it, but
there's always that chance, you know.
NFL's so unpredictable, man. You can't ever predict what they're going to do with suspensions.
Maybe like a one game, but the suspicion of the DUI, was it a DUI? What was he doing? Why was he sleeping there? Whatever. Who knows? But bonehead. Hey? Bonehead.
How do you even fall asleep in your car on a freeway? That seems pretty crazy. Like, stopped. He just pulled over, not even on the side of the road. It sounds like he was actually blocking a lane.
Was there like a toxicology report or anything? Did it state like?
I don't know, dude. I'm not part of the CSI unit in the neighborhood over there.
Hey, it's a fair question.
You're not a part of Los Angeles CSI, dude?
No, dude. I don't have a toxicology report. I'm not doing any kind of blood or saliva testing.
Yeah, I have no idea. I haven't heard the toxicology results at all, so I don't know. But yeah, I guess
teammate.
I guess so, dude. And didn't his teammate just pass away too, like a few days ago?
Yeah, from
Kyrie Jackson. Yeah, he just passed away like a week or so ago. Like that. That's. I mean, you know, try not to judge or anything because you know nobody's perfect, but that's a tough look, man. That's a tough look.
I can't remember what I saw, but I saw it on the internet. It was the most arrested players since a specific date, and it was the Vikings. The Vikings have the most arrests like in the NFL in a certain span of time. It's like 78 since 2000 or something like that. So many Vikings players are getting arrested. There's something about Minnesota. I don't trust it.
Stats a Bears fan looks up.
No, dude, I saw it on TikTok. It was a list of all the teams. Like the Denver Broncos are right behind them.
Wow.
Weird about that. So it's just like, hey, Minnesota, dude, what's up? What are you doing out there?
I mean, that's obviously a coincidence.
Is it though?
All right.
I guess 70 plus arrests is a coincidence. Something about Minnesota.
Okay. Yeah, just keep an eye on Jordan Addison. Did he drop out of your top 40? Dylan? You like Jordan Addison this year, right? I was the only one that didn't have him in the top 40, I think, originally, right?
I don't think I'm gonna have him drop down. Like, I think I have the rankings here. I think I had Addison like number 32. So I think I'm gonna keep him at 32.
Okay. All right, last up before we update our rankings a little bit. Nick Chubb was seen squatting 540 pounds this week on his surgically repaired knee. Is he back?
He's back into my top 40.
Oh, okay. I mean, just because he can squat 540 pounds doesn't mean he's like NFL speed, right?
That's what I'm telling myself. Yes.
He already wasn't like super fast to begin with.
Yeah, I'm just lightening my expectations for Nick Chubb still a little bit. I hope it works out. I hope it works out.
I do too. He's one of my favorite football players, but I'm too nervous about that. Unless he just drops to me in like an ungodly round, which he won't. Somebody will take a chance on him way before I'm ready to. I'm still not touching Chubb. I don't think. I just don't want to risk it.
Yeah,
personally.
That's fair.
Dylan, how do you feel about it?
I feel like he'll probably play this year.
Well, he'd definitely play. Is he gonna be good though? Is this like? Did this impress you enough where it's like, oh yeah, dude, Nick Chubb is good.
Nick
Chubb's back.
You know how much 540 pounds is?
It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, on a
That
surgically repaired knee.
That knee's holding up 540 pounds right now, dude. That's nuts. And he's probably done it more than once, dude. It's just once on camera.
Probably.
So he's probably doing a lot more workouts, you know?
You're not going to film your first 540 pound squat on camera, right?
You're going to do it. You're going to do at least
shatter your knee.
Doing at least 10 to test it out first. You know what I mean? Over the course of a couple of weeks, probably. So I got to say, he's probably been putting weight on his knees for the past couple of months, y'all. That's crazy.
Does this drop Jerome Ford out of your rankings at all? Oh yeah, okay,
completely.
You can't be putting that much weight. You can't be putting that much weight on your knees. Much weed. You can put weed on your knees, actually. But dude, that's you got. I'm banking on Nick Chubb because I've been waiting. I've been telling myself over and over and over. I've been waiting for this glimpse of life from Nick Chubb, and that's pretty impressive. Now, if it starts coming out that he's running here soon, it's going to move him higher in my rankings. You know what I mean? Because that's the true test. And
that's fair. I mean, he'll move up for me too if I start like seeing stuff where he's like, oh, he's a beast in training camp. Oh, he looks like the old Nick Chubb. Then I'll be like, okay, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to get in front of it and let people know that if you're feeling Nick Chubb when it comes towards fantasy season and you're wondering, you know, if you should draft him or not, like, it's not going to kill you to take a flyer on Nick Chubb because that could be a league winner because you could get him in the 9th round, 8th, 10th round, something like that. And that's not ungodly. You're still picking good players in those rounds sometimes. And then you could have an RB1 if he comes back. Who knows? There's a range of outcomes here that's unpredictable, but I'll take a little piece of that.
Okay. Let's get to our rankings. All right. How do you want to just go one by one here? Just around in a circle?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll start. I'm gonna just say most of mine are receivers. I didn't do that on purpose or anything like that. I had a pretty good amount of movement on my receiver list. Okay. So first up, I'm just gonna say Devontae Adams. Originally had him at 9, dropped him to 16. The Raiders passing attack, I'm a little nervous about it, man. I just don't like the vibes from it. I do think the closer that we're getting to training camp, I think Aiden O'Connell is the favorite to win that job. I think it's still close to 50-50, but I think it's moved in his direction, like a 60-40 now, AOC. I think Minshew's going to have to play well, and AOC will have to struggle in order for Minshew to start week 1. Like, he's going to have to like legitimately win the quarterback battle in order to overtake AOC. From what I've heard, like in mini camps, OTAs, or whatever, neither one of them were impressive at all. So I think AOC still has a pretty good lead on Minshew as it stands right now. And Devontae Adams has been out in interviews saying that he thinks it's AOC's job to lose. I don't like that. So I'm dropping him down. Devontae Adams is still too talented to take out of the top 20. But for now, I just want to tamper my expectations, and I don't want to reach for like Devontae Adams, like in the middle of the second. I've been seeing him go in mock drafts, like, and that's just too high. I will not draft Devontae Adams in the second round. That just I just don't like that at all. So from 9 to 16 for me, Devontae Adams.
That's funny. I'll go ahead and just add on top of you. I have Devontae Adams going from 10 to 15.
Okay, very similar. Yeah.
Now, are you guys like swapping them with anybody, or are you just dropping them just like that?
Well, I could say all the ranking shifts I have around that area. Because
I have ranking shifts around that area too. So I didn't move people up and down because of Devontae, but there were several receivers in that same area that I moved up or down. Okay. So
yeah,
not related though to Devontae specifically.
Okay. My turn.
Dylan said his. Kai, go ahead, dude.
Oh yeah. So my first one is just like a small receiver swap in the top 10. So I'm moving Justin Jefferson down from 5 to 7, and I am putting AJ Brown in his spot at 5.
I love that.
Yeah. So I mean, with Justin Jefferson, I'm just worried about the whole situation over there. I do not like the quarterback situation. I don't know how it's going to look. While I still think Justin Jefferson could be a lock for like 1,400 yards, I don't see him getting anywhere close to double-digit touchdowns. I think AJ Brown I think AJ Brown's like one of the safest guys in the top 10 for wide receivers. I think he's going to have a fantastic season.
So these weren't like moved around enough for me to put it on my list because we're trying to only do like 6, sixes each. I have AJ Brown above Justin Jefferson as well. I did that yesterday too, but it was only like once. I moved AJ Brown up like 2 spots, and I moved Justin Jefferson down like 1. So I didn't think it was like super notable, but I did the same exact thing. I have AJ Brown over Justin Jefferson as well right now.
Yeah, just like Devontae Adams, JJ is too talented to keep outside of the top 10 for me. So.
Okay, next up for me, I'm just gonna keep going down my wide receiver list here. Deebo Samuel. Originally at 22, I bumped him up to 15, 1 spot over Devontae Adams. Part of it was like the Aiyuk news. The other part of it was, if you look at his stats, man, Deebo had a great year last year, dude. I think he was the 7th wide receiver in PPR, I believe.
Yeah.
And whether Aiyuk stays or not, he's probably I'm 1A, 1B of that offense. And if Aiyuk leaves, he is the number 1. So like, Aiyuk leaving can only help Deebo, in my opinion.
I moved him up too, Deebo.
Yeah, I think 22 is just too low for me. So I moved him from 22 to 15.
So I have like a little ranking shift in the middle here. Like I moved DJ Moore, Mike Evans, and Michael Pittman up. Okay. And I moved Chris Olave, Brandon Aiyuk, and Devontae Adams down. Like that's in that same range. Mm-hmm. So I moved Michael Pittman from 21 overall in my rankings to 15. I just think that he has more talent, and I think that the emergence of Anthony Richardson will give him that little boost. DJ Moore goes from 15 to 11. So I think DJ Moore will also get that boost. I also moved up, I moved Brandon Aiyuk down because of uncertainty. And Keenan Allen gets a slight bump from 31 to 25. Like those are like that's the rest of my receivers, but
just your receiver, okay.
Like I just had a section of like 5 players that I'm like they all just switch spots.
Gotcha. Kai, your next one?
Yeah, this is just a small quarterback one, so I'm putting Kyler from 7 to 6, and yeah, just swapping him and Joe Burrow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think rushing
Kyler,
ability.
Yeah, the rushing ability. I think might have a safer floor too, because I mean, these past few years with Joe Burrow dealing with the injuries, starting out the season slow, I'm a little bit more worried about Joe Burrow than I used to be about drafting him.
And especially where Kyler is going, I'm really high on Kyler this year. Yeah. I love his value. Next up for me, Devontae Smith. I bumped him up from 24 to 18. I think I said this during our wide receiver rankings episode, where I was just like, I think I'm just too low on Devontae Smith. I didn't like where I had him ranked originally, so I was like, I think I'm going to find a way to move him up. I moved him up above like Jalen Waddle, Michael Pittman, Cooper Kupp. I don't know, man. I like that offense. I love Devontae Smith. I mean, I honestly think Devontae Smith is the best wide receiver too in football. I think he could easily be a wide receiver 1 on the Eagles if AJ Brown wasn't there. I think Kellen Moore is going to help the Eagles offense a lot. There might be a little bit of like growing pains into a new offense at first, but he had a lot of success in Dallas offensively. So I think it'll carry over to the Eagles. I like Jalen Hurts. He has a good connection with like AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. I think he can spread the ball around to those two guys pretty equally. AJ Brown's obviously the alpha, but I think Devontae Smith is good enough that he's going to get really good numbers too. So like wide receiver 18 still isn't like super high, but I thought I was just too low with him at 24. So I moved him from 24 to 18.
I got a pair of guys I'll lump in together because they're both not ranked at all on my running backs list. But Gus Edwards and Nick Chubb respectfully moved from 25 to 25 and 26 on my rankings.
Wow.
Okay. So I'm moving Nick Chubb not into relevance territory, but he's on notice for me. He's rising up my rank, and that's like right around the middle, and Gus Edwards being the lead back in LA I think is really good news too. So just off touchdown and goal line work, I'm going to put Gus Edwards up there as well.
Okay.
All right. So this next one, involves 3 wide receivers. So I'm moving Keon Coleman from 26 to 32. I am taking Jordan Addison from 32 to unranked. And I'm putting Christian Kirk at 26.
There you go. I like that, dude.
Yeah, I mean, the more and more I think about it, Christian Kirk is going to be the wide receiver one there starting out the year. He's a consistent fantasy player. He's never going to like win you your week, but he's consistent enough to be fantasy relevant on your roster. So
you have a 26?
Yeah.
Dang, dude. I went from the only person to have him ranked. I still have him at like 35. I have him at right now, so that's pretty good. You like him more than I do even right now. I love it. Yeah, I think Christian Kirk's gonna have a really good year. I've been drafting him in mock drafts and stuff every chance I get. I think it's like a cheap way to get a wide receiver one. I know like the Jaguars' offense is a little shaky. There's some question marks there. I know Dylan fucking hates the Jaguars, but I do think he has a nice connection with Trevor Lawrence. And I think he's gonna be the wide receiver one at least for the first half of the year until Brian Thomas kind of comes into his own. Next up for me is DeAndre Hopkins. I had him at 40 originally. I just wanted to bump him up over Calvin Ridley. I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to have a better year than Calvin Ridley. I think it helps him that he already has a little bit of a connection with Will Levis. They've already played together a little bit. Even though I don't think Will Levis was like super impressive last year, he did have some nice throws to DeAndre Hopkins. So I think that they've already been cooking a little bit. Calvin Ridley, we saw what it looked like when he was getting used to a new quarterback last year. Him and Trevor Lawrence didn't. I mean, you look at Calvin Ridley's stats; they're not bad, but it just didn't pass the eye test in Jacksonville. Him and Trevor Lawrence didn't really look like they were on the same page. So we'll see how it is with Will Levis. I think I'd rather, if I was choosing between one of the two Titans wide receivers, I think I'd rather take a chance on DeAndre Hopkins because he's more of a sure thing. So that's why I moved him up from 40 to 29.
I have a lot of movement in my top 10 of quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I moved Joe Burrow from 10 to 7, right? Which basically moves back Dak and Jordan Love. And then I swapped Stroud and Murray. So Stroud goes to 6, Murray goes to 7.
Okay.
And then the biggest mover, though, is the highlight, is Bo Nix. I had him originally ranked at 25. I'm going to move him up 4 spots to 21.
I moved
21.
I moved him up too, by the way. The more and more I think about it, I think Bo Nix is probably the most pro-ready quarterback out of all the college guys because he played the most in college. He had 60 starts in his college career. I mean, and with such
the Bill Parcells method, dude.
Yeah, and I know people will say that, he's 24 coming in, but with quarterback, it's such a cerebral position. I kind of like when they come in a little bit older. They have a longer shelf life too. It's not like they have to come in and be 21 right away, so you get the most out of them.
Yeah, I think that Bo Nix will continue to be a huge riser on my quarterbacks rankings, and I wouldn't be shocked if going into draft season he's pushing quarterback 12 to 15 range.
Wow.
He's a starting quarterback with weapons.
I mean, and Sean Payton really believes in him, so to me that says something.
Yeah, he's got decent weapons and he's pro ready. And that Broncos defense ain't no game in Denver. They had a decent defense last year, other than the Miami game.
Yeah. Was Bodix on your list too, Kai?
No, not I didn't put him on there for like a ranking change, but my personal list, he did move up a little bit.
Okay. All right, then go ahead then.
Okay, so this next one's just for the tight end position, just a small one, but I'm swapping Pat Fryermuth and Dallas Goedert. So Fryermuth to 13,
Dallas
Goedert.
who?
Goedert.
Goddard, dude, isn't it? We've
Goddard.
had this conversation a million times.
I know.
You have inceptioned that name into my brain too. Every time I read his name, I think of Goedert now too. I'm just like, God damn it, Kai, dude. It's Goddard, right, Dylan? It's Dallas Goddard. I'm not
I've
crazy.
always said Goddard, dude. It's like Goddard, dude.
Goddard, dude.
I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
Goedert sounds funny to me, but
Goddard.
But yeah, I'm dropping him 2 spots. So I'm putting Goedert at the 15, Fryermuth at the 13.
Man, don't go there. Okay. Sorry. Can you repeat your point? I was too busy laughing at you.
So yeah, Fryermuth from 15 to 13.
Okay.
Goddard to 13 to 15.
It's even funnier that you caved.
It's Goddard in the streets, Goedert in the sheets.
I love it. Okay. No, that's it. I like it, Guy. I'm sorry. That was so funny, though. All right. Next up for me. Tight end for me as well. Jatavian Sanders. 22 to 32. I think I just fell in love with the dude's size. He's a big guy. I just figured there's not that many weapons on the Panthers offense. But then I also realized that the Panthers are horrible. So I'm like, why would I ever want a piece of this offense at all? And also, he might not even be the starting tight end. We don't know. They're like Tommy Tremble. I think Ian Thomas is still there. Some big names here, guys. So I just don't know. I feel like there's uncertainty at that position, and there's uncertainty in that team. That I'm like, I don't want to like make excuses to draft more Panthers. So I'm not gonna really try to do that. So I'm like, I'm gonna drop Jatavian Sanders down. I just went to 32 because that's the last spot that I had ranked. He might. I mean, if he's not the starting tight end, he will drop even farther than that. For right now, it'll be 22 to 32. DP.
How many we got left?
I have one left, and I have an honorable mention too.
Okay.
I have 2.
Okay,
right.
so we'll do 2 then.
All right, so I have a Rachaad White jumping from 16 to 11 on my rankings, and I have a Josh Jacobs falling from 11 all the way back to 17.
Wow.
On my running back rankings.
Who'd you say you bumped up to 11?
Rachaad White.
Rachaad White. Okay.
Yeah, and
Me too.
And then in the middle of that, I have Isaiah Pacheco rising from 19 to 15 on my
There
ranking.
you go.
Just because I think, although I don't think he's an RB1, like I wouldn't be comfortable having Isaiah Pacheco my RB1. Like that's not how I want to draft. I do think he's a solid RB2 option if you go running back in the first round, especially early. Like if you want to go heavy on running backs and you have like a top 3 pick and you pick like a CMC kind of guy.
I was thinking that too, yeah.
You could loop back around and solidify RB2 with Isaiah Pacheco at the end of the second, possibly. If that's what you want to do. Big stretch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this next one's for the running backs. So I'm putting Jaleel McLaughlin from unranked to 38, and I'm dropping Rico Dowdle from the top 40.
There we go.
Yeah, that
makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, with McLaughlin at 38, I'm sure he's going to rise much higher before the season starts, especially if is word that he is like truly becoming the starter there. Then I'll bump him up, but for now, top 40.
I kind of think all 3 of those running backs are going to have a role in Denver. McLaughlin, Estime, and whoever wins the roster spot between Javonte and P. Ryan. Who was the person that you dropped out?
Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle. Yeah, I mean, there's uncertainty with Rico Dowdle. I definitely understand why you would drop him out. I don't know. I think I would still take a chance on Rico Dowdle, like very late in the draft, like a last pick type of situation. I would
Yeah.
take a chance on that for sure. So I don't know. I definitely see why you did both of those for sure. I can see your reasoning there. Next up for me, running backs. This is actually 2 running backs, but they're tied together. So I'm just going to explain it into one point. I had Tony Pollard over Tajay Spears, and I want to flip that. I don't think I'm gonna draft either one of them. I want to make that clear. But I had Tajay under Pollard, and I think Tajay is better. I've been watching Tajay Spears highlights and stuff like that. I just think he's a better player than Tony Pollard. Not to shit on Tony Pollard, I think he's perfectly fine, but I actually think Spears could be like a game changer in the offense. I don't know if the Titans are looking at it like that. I think Tony Pollard's going to get plenty of work, so that's why I don't really think I'm going to touch either one of them. And I also think the Titans are probably the worst team in that division. So I don't know if I want a running back, like if they're going to give more carries to Pollard, but I think Spears is the better running back. I don't know if I want to mess with that situation at all, but I want Tajay over Tony Pollard. So I took Spears from 32 to 26, and I dropped Pollard from 24 to 28. So I just think Spears is a better player. So
I have 2 guys falling out of the top 40, and then 1 guy rising the most of anybody on my rankings so far. So, so I have Javonte Williams and Ezekiel Elliott falling out of my top 4.
who and Zeke?
Javonte Williams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was due to today's news.
Yeah, fair.
And then I have a big riser who rises 9 spots on my running back rankings.
Okay.
And this is Mr. Raheem Mostert.
I like it.
I had him at 27. I'm moving him to RB 16.
Wow.
Okay. Over Josh Jacobs.
Over Josh Jacobs. Right where Rashad White used to be. I definitely think he has more value than RB 27. And that was my biggest regret in our rankings last time. I just think that I have Devon Chan ranked at 9 and Raheem Mostert ranked at 16. Now it's obvious who I think that offense is going to pretty much run through. And it's going to be probably those 2 guys again. Although Tyreek Hill is going to be a better fantasy producer probably than both of them.
Yeah.
But both of these guys could be startable if they're healthy at the same time. And I think that's the point here. And I think if either one of them misses time, these guys go straight into top 5 running back position. Like if you're going to tell me that it was like just Raheem Mostert and Devon Chan wasn't there, Raheem Mostert would be in the top 10 for me. And that's dealing with his injuries.
I'm with you.
Too. So,
yeah, I'm with you.
And same with Devon Chan. Like I would probably stay in the top 10 just because I'm taking his upside this year. But yeah, dude, Raheem Mostert, biggest mover this offseason for me in rankings. Maybe besides Bo Nix whenever it's all said and done.
Okay.
This is our last one, right?
I have one more that I could do if you guys have one more, but
well,
if not, this can be the last one.
Okay, I'll do one more then after this one. All right, so my last 2 are going to be running backs, but this one, I'm dropping Aaron Jones from 20 to 25, and I'm putting Mostert at 20.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the more and more I think about it, I'm not excited about Aaron Jones on that offense. I don't see a lot of red zone opportunities for that offense in general, so...
As long as Aaron Jones can stay healthy, I think he'll be good, even if the Vikings are bad, which I think we all expect him to be. Yeah, but yeah. Ty Chandler, I think he's going to have to deal with a little bit, but they play such different roles that I think that they can coexist. I think Ty Chandler is going to eat into Aaron Jones's work more than I think people realize. I could be wrong. I don't know, but I just think Ty Chandler's too good to leave off the field. I don't think he's better than Aaron Jones, but I think he's too good to not play. Not to give at least some touches to. So I like that. Currently, I have Aaron Jones at 20. I have Mostert at 17. So solid. For me, this is my last one. I had this as an honorable mention just because he only goes up a couple spots, but it was just more of I'm choosing this guy over these other guys. And I put Devon Achane from 11 to 9, and he goes over Pacheco and ETN. I just think that if Achane hits, dude, he is going to be a league winner. And I'm willing to take that chance on it. I think ETN is a safer play. Not by much. I think ETN is safer, though. I think Achane has a much higher ceiling than Travis Etienne does. So I'm just going to go ahead and just be like, if Achane is there, I would just go ahead and just say, fuck it, put all the chips on the table, draft Devon Achane and hope it works out. And if it does work out, there's a very good chance that I'm going to be in the playoffs. And if it doesn't work out, oh, well, I'm trying to win. I took a chance. It didn't work out. So I moved Devon Achane up over Isaiah Pacheco and Etienne. So right now I have Achane 9, Etienne 10. Rachaad White I have at 11 and Pacheco 12. I moved Rachaad White over Isaiah Pacheco. So that's where my little 10 through 12 is right now. 9 through 12 is. All right, Dylan?
I guess I'll just end it with this. I'm moving Trevor Lawrence down from 24 to 27.
Okay. This is like from 24 to 75.
No, just 24 to 27 because I looked at the surrounding.
27 is crazy.
Yeah, it's a little wild. Yeah.
I
can't tell if this is a bit.
Well, it's like guys like Geno Smith went down too, and JJ McCarthy's at 29, and like it's just like it doesn't really matter, honestly, where he's ranked because I'm not drafting him, but I don't see it. I don't see the vision.
He really hates this Trevor Lawrence fella.
Yeah, dude. Not great.
All right, Kai, who's your last one?
All right, my last one is deals with 3 running backs. So James Cook I originally had at number 15. I'm moving him up to number 12. Josh Jacobs I'm moving from 12 down to 17. And Alvin Kamara is moving up to 15.
Oh, okay. I like that. What's your reasoning?
With James Cook, I expect him to have a huge role in the Buffalo offense this year. What was that face?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. I thought I got some breaking news.
No.
Okay. But yeah, so
just normal news. Just normal news. Sorry.
Okay. I think James Cook is going to have a huge role in the Buffalo offense. James Cook, this Green Bay Packers running backs. Matt LaFleur is an arch rival of fantasy football. He hates it.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Alvin Kamara, all the receptions, I felt like I had him a little too low, so.
Kamara's good, man. Kamara's going to be good, dude. I don't know. I think he still has a couple more years left in him, man. He surpassed my expectations for him last year when he got back from the suspension. He was such a reliable running back. I knew he was going to be solid. He's a really good player, but he literally looked like old Alvin Kamara. So I think he's still got a couple more years in his tank.
I moved him to 15. So I was like, I was thinking about it. It was like one of my big regrets when we first did it. I was like, I think I'm entirely too low on Alvin Kamara. I'm not respecting him. So I was like, I got to at least give him top 15.
Yeah, I got him at 15 too, but on the graphic it says I got him at 15.
I have him at 14. So we're all about the same on Alvin Kamara. So cool. All right. Any other ones? You guys got any other ones you want to get off your chest? I don't know. That's it for me.
Yeah, no tight end changes at all. Because my tight end rankings, I think, are perfect.
I didn't have any quarterbacks for now. I was really looking. There's a couple I thought that I could trade or swap around. Like I have CJ Stroud at 3. I think he's going to come down eventually, but I was like, I don't know yet. I don't know. I haven't made that decision yet, so I didn't really mess with the quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most of mine were running backs and wide receivers.
Okay, well that's it for us. A little bit of a short episode this week, but that's okay. As always, you can find us at Raging Takes everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter. You can email us ragingtakes@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter at Montana Sauce. Kai is at RTP Kai. Dylan is at Such a Wise Fool. They will see you next week. Kai and Dylan will have a 2-man show next week. So stay tuned for that. They'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.